check this out.
Cardiorespiratory arrest due to cocaine.
You were raping her. We raped her.
Hey, you crazy man, shut up!
Unfortunately, I have no choice but to drop the charges at this time.
My sister's dead because of what you did to her! You'll pay with your life!
But I didn't shoot Philip Epperson.
I think you did.
She is a prime candidate for a frame.
You just assumed she killed me, too.
Brigham Young said, this is the place.
I don't see any cars.
Good. Have some time to kill. What's the matter?
It's about your hands.
Come on, I know what you like.
I like sushi too, but not in a sports car. Let's go inside.
Hey, come on in.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, Dan.
Yeah. This is Rhonda.
Very nice.
Where is everybody?
Fashionably late, I guess. Come here. This is Chef Robert in the kitchen, creating his latest gourmet treat.
His parents are out?
Far out, Paris.
Here you go, my dear. A little delicacy especially for you.
No thanks. I don't do Coke. Is that what it is, Coke?
Well, we're not just talking any old Coke here. This is the ultimate in Peruvian flake. Here.
Call my little fox. What are you doing here? What are you doing, chasing ambulances? This is not a homicide.
I was on my way home and I picked up the call. What's up?
Somebody thought they had a DB, but no. She's alive. Not well. They don't need us here.
Well, what happened?
Some girl, 18, unconscious, unresponsive, went into cardiac arrest.
18? Teenage heart attack?
Are you absolutely sure she hadn't taken any drugs?
Not while she was with me. What she might have done before I picked her up, I don't know.
We were having a few drinks. She seemed perfectly all right. Then all of a sudden, she started to complain about pains in her chest, and she wanted to lie down on the couch.
And the next thing, it was like she was having a seizure or something. So we called 911.
And she never came to again?
No. Yeah, I wish we knew CPR or something. We could have helped the girl.
Helped her? You were raping her. We raped her.
Hey,
we gave her
you're crazy, man.
That's what happened.
Quiet!
Don't pay any attention.
Let him talk.
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
You say you gave her cocaine?
Yes. We talked her into it. She didn't want to. She wanted to leave, but we didn't let her go. We held her down.
Jeff!
You get all that?
Just goes to show, sometimes a beat cop can wrap up a case without calling the hot dog dicks.
Did you Mirandize him? You did read him his rights.
No, it was a voluntary confession. He wasn't a suspect. I didn't know there'd been a crime committed here.
What, are you a lawyer now? Read him his rights.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to have an attorney present during questioning. If you cannot afford an attorney, you have the right to have one appointed for you prior to questioning. Do you understand these rights?
Yes.
Will you voluntarily answer my questions?
I think I'd like to talk to an attorney.
Dr. Kaler, 247, please. Dr. Kaler, 247.
Can I help you?
Yes, Rhonda Burke, my sister. Is she here?
Just a moment, please.
Was she all right? What's
If you'll
happened
just
to
have
her?
a seat, the doctor will be
Let
right
me
with
see
you.
her. Where is she?
It's Rhonda Burke's sister.
Thank you. I'll take care of it. I'm sorry, Miss Burke. We did everything we could.
No!
There's no way these kids are going to get off. They're guilty.
Jeff Wyatt's confession won't be admissible as evidence in court. Therefore, these punks will get off.
How? He volunteered that confession. Miranda does not apply.
Unfortunately, Melvin Belli will put holes all through that testimony.
You are so cynical. Try and have a little faith in the American system of justice.
I am cynical, but it has nothing to do with justice. It has everything to do with this prosecutor is overmatched by Belli.
He volunteered the confession. He's guilty. They're all guilty.
So is Miranda.
And the state will further establish that the victim's death was a direct result of the ingestion of cocaine, a drug provided by the defendants, and that the resultant heart attack suffered by Rhonda Burke was induced by the drug and by their sexual assault. The prosecution will prove that these men are, in fact, guilty of both rape and murder. Thank you.
Mr. Belli, your opening statement, please.
Yes, Your Honor. May it please, Your Honor. And, of course, may it please you, ladies and gentlemen of the jury. I want to make just a very brief opening statement to set out some guideposts so that you can determine that my clients are not guilty. Your Honor, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, these young men who are sitting here are the real victims in this case. Victims of a public outrage against drug abuse, which all of us feel, and rightly so. Certainly it's tragic that Rhonda Burke may have died of cocaine poisoning, but that's not justification for making these boys scapegoats. No cocaine was found in their possession or in the house where Rhonda Burke died. In fact, the only cocaine ever found in this case was in the body of Rhonda Burke. Proximity to an event is not evidence of complicity. I will establish and prove that all that these boys are guilty of is something that all of us have been guilty of sometime in our lives, being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Thank you.
Prosecution may call its first witness.
And what did you find to be the cause of death?
Cardiorespiratory arrest due to cocaine.
And did your examination also indicate that the deceased had been violated?
Objection. Violated. It's leading and suggestive to his own witness.
Sustained.
There was evidence that she had engaged in sexual intercourse a short time prior to her death.
I see. And was there any indication of physical injury to the deceased?
Bruises on her facial cheeks, arms, and thighs.
Your witness?
Deep, lasting bruises or mild, faint bruises?
No, they were intermediate.
By the way, was Rhonda Burke a smoker?
Yes.
Did she take oral contraceptive?
Objection.
Overruled. Witness will answer.
We found evidence of that, yes.
So you did find evidence of that. Don't those factors, smoking and the pill, increase the lethal potential of cocaine?
That is the medical consensus, yes.
Is it also possible Rhonda Burke may have lacked the necessary enzyme to metabolize the cocaine?
We didn't test for that.
Thank you. Oh, there's another thing. About those bruises, aren't there people who bruise quite easily? I mean, in response to actions less than violent.
Yes, there are.
And couldn't those bruises have come from some amorous adventure in the front seat of this little sport?
Objection.
Withdrawn. No further questions.
And what happened after you arrived at the address?
The paramedic team was already attempting to resuscitate the victim. So I began to question the witnesses who were present in regard to the circumstances.
And what happened shortly thereafter?
One of the witnesses, Jeffrey Wyatt, voluntarily confessed that he and the other defendants provided the victim with cocaine and subsequently raped her. And during the rape, she suffered a seizure.
And you recorded this confession?
I did.
Request that this officer's notes be admitted as evidence.
No, Your Honor.
As People's Exhibit A.
The defense requests that the ruling on admissibility of these notes, or alleged notes, be continued until completion of our cross-examination.
Granted. Any more questions?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Belli, your witness.
Did you find any cocaine on the premises?
No, sir.
Were there any signs of any kind of a struggle?
No.
And very importantly now, did you read Mr. Wyatt his rights before you recorded his alleged statement?
I didn't because at the time he wasn't...
Just answer the question. It's simple enough. You read it or you didn't read it. Did you advise Mr. Wyatt that he had the right to legal counsel before answering any questions?
No. I'm trying to tell you he wasn't in custody at the time. He made a voluntary statement that took me completely by surprise. He volunteered the statement.
Defense requests that the court rule this officer is a hostile witness. And if Your Honor would, ask him to answer where he can, yes or no, not an elaborate statement.
So directed.
Now, Officer Myers, isn't it true, and this is very important, that Mr. Epperson asked if he could leave and go to the hospital with Rhonda Burke? Answer the question, please. You don't have to look at anybody to give an honest answer to that.
Yes.
And wasn't this prior to Mr. Wyatt's alleged confession?
Yes, but he wasn't...
You've answered the question. Your Honor, I submit that this witness's testimony that the defendants had in fact been detained establishes they should have been advised of their Miranda rights to remain silent and to have legal counsel. They weren't. Since they were not so advised, Mr. Wyatt's alleged statement is not admissible in evidence.
Does prosecution have anything to say?
Your Honor, the people maintain that the defendant's confession was not coerced, nor was he in the custody of Officer Myers at the time. His statement was made voluntarily, as a free citizen, in response to general questioning in the normal fact-finding process associated with such an incident.
I can understand how the state would take such a view, and how the officer could be completely unaware of the fact that a crime had been committed short of such information being volunteered. However, Officer Meyer's testimony indicates that the defendants were deprived of their freedom of action in a significant way. The law is very clear on this point. They should have been advised of their rights. And since they were not, regardless of the fact that I may personally wish to admit the defendant's statement as evidence, in good conscience, I have no choice but to rule for the defense. The jury will disregard Officer Meyer's testimony in regard to a statement made by defendant Jeffrey Wyatt, and the officer's notes in this regard are inadmissible as evidence.
Exception, Your Honor.
Noted. Proceed.
The prosecution rests.
Mr. Belli, you may present your case.
Thank you, Your Honor. But the defense at this time contends that the prosecution has failed to establish a reasonable connection or nexus between the defendants and the crimes for which they have been charged. Therefore, we move that the court direct the jury to find a verdict of acquittal.
Mr. Belli, there is absolutely no question in the court's mind that these young men committed the acts with which they've been charged. There is also no question in the court's mind that their rights under the Miranda decision have been violated. This is a particularly odious example of what can happen when errors of this sort are made. Unfortunately, I have no choice but to drop the charges at this time. Order! Order in the court! Jury is dismissed. The defendants will be released from custody, and this court is adjourned.
Hey there, little brother.
That's insane! They're guilty! One of them confessed! They're guilty!
Bailiff! Bailiff, remove that woman!
You'll answer to a higher justice. I'll see to that if I have to die for it! My sister's dead because of what you sick, spoiled little creep Stentower! You'll pay for this! You'll pay with your lives!
Phil! Come on out. What are you doing in there? You know I can't stand being alone. Jump in. It's a sure cure for all of your ails.
Catch him, Rays.
Oh, Phil, you know, sometimes you are the biggest baby.
Hey, why don't you show me that dive I taught you?
All right, now, check this out. Did you see it? Phil? Phil? Oh my God.
Miss Burke?
Yes, what is it?
I'm Sergeant McCall. This is my partner, Sergeant Hunter. We're with the Metro PD. We have some questions to ask you, but first I'd like to inform you that you have the right to remain silent. If you give up that right, anything you say can be used as evidence
What is this? What are you doing?
While we wait till she finishes.
You have the right to have an attorney present. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be appointed to you. Do you understand these rights?
Yes, I do, but I don't understand what's going on.
2 hours ago, Philip Epperson was shot and killed.
Oh, no. Oh, my God. Well, that explains it.
How's that?
A woman called me about 3 hours ago. I don't know who it was, but she managed to send me off on a wild goose chase.
What do you mean?
She told me she knew those boys were guilty because they'd raped somebody else 6 weeks ago.
Did she say who it was?
No, she wouldn't talk anymore on the phone. She said if I got over there right away, she'd give me all the details.
That's where you've been?
Yes, I went to see that woman, but there was nobody there. You don't believe me, do you? You think I killed him.
Why aren't you at work today?
I'm on a medical leave. They thought I was under too much stress to do my job. They were right.
Getting back to this woman, did you go to see her?
I couldn't find her. I mean, I found the house, but it was all boarded up. Nobody lived there.
Anybody see you?
No, I don't think so.
Do you own a gun?
Yes.
May we see it?
What's at the club?
Oh, what club?
The Westwood Gun Club. I keep it in my locker there. There's no law against that I'm aware of. And it certainly isn't that odd, either. My father was a Marine. He taught me to shoot when I was in grammar school.
What address did the woman on the phone give you?
Nobody's lived here in years.
At first, I thought I'd written down the wrong address, but it's obvious. Somebody wanted me out of the way while they killed Philip Epperson.
You said you had difficulty finding this place. Did you have to stop at any time to ask for directions?
I remember now. I did.
Can I help you?
Yes, sir. This lady says she was here earlier today. You recall seeing her?
I don't remember seeing her.
She was driving a silver Mercedes convertible.
Oh, I don't recall it.
The man I talked to was taller than you and had long, sandy-colored hair. I got the impression he was a mechanic.
Oh, we don't have no mechanic. We used to. Now we just pump gas and spill oil.
Were two people on duty here today?
Yeah, Quentin. He was here up to half hour ago. Man, Quentin, he's a little fella. He's 5'4" and just as bald as a baby's butt.
Well, this isn't going to help me any, is it? Sergeant Hunter, come in.
Hope I'm not disturbing you.
No, I'm just fixing dinner.
Oh, I can come back another time.
No, come in, come in. Right now, a bribe probably wouldn't do me any harm.
How's that?
Well, I'm in the middle of fixing dinner. Would you like to join me for a nice home-cooked meal?
No, go right ahead.
Well, if you want to talk, come on in the kitchen.
You were pretty close with your sister, weren't you?
Yes, we were. Our father died in Vietnam a few weeks before we got out of Saigon. And our mother died when Rhonda was 7. I practically raised her myself.
I tried to call you earlier, but your phone was busy.
Oh, I've got the phone off the hook. It was ringing like crazy when I came in here today. People from TV, from the newspaper, and just plain people. They all think I'm wonderful. A killer, mind you, but wonderful. They were surprised, though, that I'm not in jail.
You almost were in jail. I decided to get a second opinion.
And?
Well, the deputy DA says we don't have a case yet. What was the model of the gun you own?
A Walther PPK. I thought you checked it.
Ballistics did. You pretty good with it, are you?
I'm sorry to say it, but yes, I am. Women's club champion. I've been to the Nationals 2 years in a row now. You know, I was thinking, isn't there like a police artist that could draw a sketch of that man I saw at the gas station?
Yeah, there is, but there's not enough motivation in this case for that yet.
Don't the police have any interest in trying to prove somebody else did it?
My partner thinks somebody else may have done it.
But you don't. I can't believe this. You think I killed him.
Sheila, if somebody raped and murdered my sister and got off scot-free on some sort of technicality, I could kill them, plead diminished capacity, and not spend one single day in jail.
Well, I appreciate the free counsel, Sergeant, but I didn't kill the man, and I'm not pleading insanity. I was upset about the verdict, and I did say some things in the heat of the moment, but I didn't shoot Philip Epperson.
I think you did.
Why?
I think you felt those boys deserved to die for what they did to your sister.
Well, I hate to disappoint you, but I didn't kill him. Oh, I'm not going to lie to you and tell you I'm sorry one of those animals is dead. I'm not. I won't shed one tear. As far as I'm concerned, he can burn in hell.
Sergeant McCall, Sergeant Hunter, David Kephart, the deceased's brother.
Mr. Kephart? I understand you're the officers investigating Robert's death. Yes, we are. Well, why haven't you arrested her? You mean Sheila Burke? Who in the hell else would I be referring to? We have arrested her, and she's with her attorney at this time. An A1 example of locking the garage door after the car's been stolen.
Mr. Kephart, we could not arrest Sheila Burke on the first homicide because suspicion doesn't do it. We know it wouldn't stick. If you're a betting man, I'll give you odds that her attorney, Mr. Snow, will have her out today by 5 p.m.
I was told that Robert and his friend Philip Epperson were killed by the same gun. And you're telling me she's going to be released?
We checked out Sheila Burke's gun. It was not the gun that was used in these homicides.
Mr. Kephart, we're conducting a thorough investigation of Miss Burke. In fact, Sergeant Hunter, as of the last time we discussed it, was thoroughly convinced of her guilt and was working to prove it.
My point is if she had been in custody, Robert would still be alive. I mean, it's absolutely scandalous. And if my ears aren't deceiving me, it's you two who on your own decided not to arrest her after the first killing. Mr. Kephart, we are well aware of the clout you have in this city. However, when it comes down to our police work, you have none. I have things to do, Captain.
You're excused.
I don't happen to be using my clout, as you call it, Sergeant Hunter. But if and when I decide to use it, you'll know it's being used.
Great.
Obviously, you know something about that loud-mouthed, arrogant creep that gives him clout. What is it?
His old man left his fortune to the Kephart Fund for Progress and to his 4 sons by 4 different marriages.
Are you saying that that is Robert Kephart's half-brother?
He's also the sole executor of that fund, very influential in political circles.
I think I'd like to do a little work on him.
You do that. I'll work on Sheila. Hunter. Yeah. Thank you. Attorney Michael Snow just sprung Sheila from the slammer.
See what she has to say. Here she comes.
Miss Burke! Miss Burke, can we get a statement, please?
Two dead. Is there one more to go, Miss Burke?
Why did you do it?
You're an expert marksman. Would you care to comment on that, Miss Burke?
Now, hold it. Miss Burke is free because the district attorney admits that there was insufficient evidence to bring her to trial, okay?
How about a statement from you, Miss Burke? Your public wants to know, Miss Burke. They deserve to know, Miss Burke.
Hey, Sheila, they're behind you. Go for it.
Sergeant Hunter, would you please get in the car? I have to talk to you.
Give him hell, Sheila. Do you mind telling me why you invited him to join us?
Because he's my best witness. Was I or was I not with you last night after 8 o'clock?
8:05.
You see, I couldn't have done it.
You agree with that?
No.
What?
You could have made it from your house at that time at night to Robert Kephart's in about 26 minutes.
But he was shot inside a locked building.
Yes. However, you could have followed the car in through the gate before it closed.
I can't believe this. You still think I killed him?
Well, didn't you?
Don't answer that.
No.
You are funny. What you seem to be saying is that by some sheer dumb luck, she got there just as this kid drove in. Now, is that your theory?
That's about it, yeah.
I want you out of this car. Now. Pull over.
I think you meant it, Sheila.
What?
When you said you wanted those kids dead.
Don't answer that. Get out.
I'll be seeing you.
Not if I can help it.
Where you been?
Well, I took a little ride with Sheila Burke and Michael Snow.
You're kidding me. He let you get close enough to talk to her?
Yep.
I don't believe it.
Neither does Michael Snow. He kicked me out. I had to walk back to the car.
What'd you do? Tell him you thought she was guilty?
Yeah.
She isn't.
Yes, she is.
No, she's not. Listen to this. The late Mr. Kephart left 100,000 shares of his stock to each of his 4 kids and 100,000 shares of the stock to the Kephart Fund. Now, that was 15 years ago. Now, at that time, Kephart stock was selling for about $40 a share. So in other words, David Kephart got stock worth $4 million and the fund got the same amount. Now that is a lot of money, but is it clout?
It all depends what the stock's worth.
No, it doesn't, because David Kephart traded in his shares and the fund shares for nice, safe, and secure bonds.
So what's your point?
All of his sons got their shares when they turned 21, except for Robert, because he didn't make it to 21, he was just 19. So his 100,000 shares went into the Kephart fund in accordance with his father's will.
So what are they worth now?
They were split 4-1 in 1979 and split again 2-1 in 1986. So Robert had 800,000 shares selling at 52 when he died, and that comes to just a wee bit over 40 million bucks, and that is clout. And David Kephart got it as soon as his half-brother died.
You mean the fund got it?
I've been thinking I'd like to talk to Sheila Burke.
Who is it?
It's Sergeant McCall.
I'm sorry, but Mr. Snow says I can't talk to you.
Sergeant Hunter isn't with me. I'm by myself. I don't want to question you. I just want to speak with you for a minute.
All right, please come in.
Thank you. I tried calling you, but I got a recording on your line that said the phone was out of order.
It's off the hook. Can you believe it? People, even reporters, call and ask me when I'm going to kill the third one. And they sound anxious. Some of them even offer to help. Isn't that sick?
Well, I'm glad you think so.
Yeah.
May I sit down?
Oh, yes, of course.
Thank you. I just wanted to ask you a couple of more questions about that phone call you received. Could you describe the voice? For example, did you note an accent?
I don't really remember an accent, but then I really wasn't listening for that, you know, more to the words.
Well, if you heard the voice again, do you think you might be able to recognize it?
Well, I don't know. I guess anything's possible.
Do you have another phone in the house?
Yes, I do.
Would you mind going to that and picking it up when I tell you and listen?
Okay.
Yes?
I have a Sergeant McCall from the police department on line 1. Will you speak with her?
Very well. Put her through. This is David Kephart.
Yes, I thought that you would like to be informed that Sheila Burke could not be detained by the DA's office. They said that the reason was the inability to connect the suspect to the crime.
Well, Sergeant, to the extent that I blamed you and Sergeant Hunter personally for what happened, you have my apology. But any system which allows a self-confessed killer to run loose ought to be junked. And I make no apology for saying that.
You realize, of course, that you sound exactly like Sheila Burke. She blamed the system, too.
Are you equating me with a cold-blooded killer?
No, of course not. I just thought you'd like to be informed. Thank you for your time.
Who was that?
Did you recognize the voice?
Well, I couldn't swear to it on a Bible, but the person who called me had that same prep school-like accent. Maybe it wasn't a woman.
Hunter, some kid's been waiting down the hall to see you all afternoon. His name's Jeffrey Wyatt.
Thank you.
What can I do for you?
Yeah, I was wondering if I could get some police protection.
I don't think so.
Hey, Rob and Phil are dead. Can't you put me in protective custody or something? There's a crazy woman out there killing people, and I could be next.
Yep, you sure could be. But guarding you right now is not in our budget.
So what are you saying? I should just disappear? What?
Well, I could put you in county jail, Jeffrey, but I don't think the inmates are going to treat you too kindly.
Whether you like it or not, the case against us was dismissed.
On a technicality.
What do you want me to do? Go home and play sitting duck for some crazed female?
Well, I don't care what you do, but you can't hang around here, Jeff.
You don't give a damn if I get blown away, do you? You just assume she killed me, too.
It's not important what I think right now. We just can't help you. Sorry. So, this is where you go to practice killing people.
Who are you and what do you want?
You know who I am. You saw me in the courtroom. I want you to know that if the police aren't going to take any action against you, I am. I'm going to prove that you killed my brother if it takes every cent I have.
I didn't kill your brother. And I'm really sorry about what I said at the trial.
Like hell you are. You made what amounts to a public confession. And here you are, practicing for the next killing.
Don't talk to me about confessions. Jeffrey Wyatt confessed, and that lawyer you hired got it thrown out of court. I didn't hear you screaming about justice then. Not when your brother would have been convicted of rape and murder.
Robert never touched your sister. They prove that. It's a tragedy that she died, but killing my brother didn't bring her back. And I swear to God, I'll see you answer for what you've done.
Stop sounding so pious. Sergeant McCall was talking to someone on the phone today, and now I know who it was. You.
What are you talking about?
You're the one who called me. The one who tricked me into going out to Malibu at the exact time Philip Epperson was being killed. You're the suspect now, not me.
I still don't know what you're talking about. You're not making any sense. You're saying that I killed my own brother?
Oh, not me, the police. But I want you to know I'm going to do everything I can to help them prove it was you. If it wasn't for your lousy money you never even earned, those creeps would have paid for their crime.
You know, while you were kicking around possible suspects, I got one you two haven't brought up.
Melvin Bella.
No, I'm talking about that third kid, Jeffrey Wyatt.
Jeffrey Wyatt, he came in here today looking for protection. It's not Jeff.
So? That could be a great cover, right? I mean, he felt guilty enough to confess, right?
Yeah.
All right, so maybe the guilt's gnawing away at him. Who does he blame? His two buddies, the real bad guys in this case.
What, do you think he just goes out and executes them?
Well, it's no wilder than your Kephart theory, is it?
No, I guess it isn't. If you're right, we don't have to worry about any more killings.
Ladies and gentlemen, listen to what I'm about to say. The only person we have to worry about is Sheila Burke. And I'm worried.
Who's in here?
Don't move. Put your purse on the coffee table. So, this is the gun, huh? The one you used to kill Robin Phil?
No, that's my target pistol, and I didn't kill anybody with it.
You gotta be kidding. And I'm not gonna wait around for you to kill
Jeffrey,
me, too.
If you kill me, they'll arrest you and put you in prison for life.
Well, I'd rather be in jail than be dead.
Why do you think I haven't been arrested? Because the police know somebody else did it.
Nobody else had any reason to kill Robin Phil.
David Kephart had all the motive in the world to want Robert dead. Money.
You trying to tell me that the police think Rob's brother killed him?
Yes.
That's crazy. He didn't inherit Rob's money. The Kephart Fund did.
To David Kephart, it's all the same. But in order to keep himself in the clear, he had to kill Philip Epperson first. And he probably plans to kill you next. I want to help you, Jeff. You've got to go somewhere and hide until the police arrest him. And they do suspect him now. You can go to my beach house in Venice. You can stay there.
He might look for me there.
Are you kidding? He thinks I want you killed.
Why are you doing all this?
Because I don't want to see you dead.
I just thought after what happened to Rhonda.
Whatever happened to Rhonda is over. It's gone and forgotten. I just want this whole thing to stop so that I can have a phone again and go to work and be able to walk down the street without being mobbed. Here are the keys and the address. You can keep my gun for protection. Where's your car?
I don't have one. I just took a bus.
Here are my keys. The car's in the drive. When you get to the beach house, stay there. I'll come by tomorrow with some groceries and stuff.
I just want you to know. We never planned anything like that happening to her. We just wanted to party a little. Things got kind of out of control.
You don't have to explain. I want to put it out of my mind. It's done.
I just want you to know. I'm sorry. I really am.
Hey, she's leaving again. Great. I could use a change of scenery. Give her plenty of slack. We don't want to spook her.
What do you bet she's out for an overnighter?
Yeah, well, we spend all night at her place, we spend all night here. What difference does it make?
No difference. Hi, boys. Hey, wake up. We're out of here.
I'm awake.
That's her car there at the corner house.
Any activity?
Well, she left her place at 10:25 last night and got here at 11:10.
8 William 4, we're 1024. L56 is code 5.
Get some sleep, thanks. Later, Hunter.
Hey, you see what I see? My suspect is coming to visit your suspect.
Jeffrey, are you here? Jeff, it's David Kephart. Come on, Jeff?
Get in here.
What is this? What are you doing?
Shut up!
Listen, I understand why you're scared. I'd be terrified too.
I said shut up!
Jeff, would you please just put the gun away?
Where is she?
Who?
Sheila Burke. What did you do with her?
Stop talking nonsense. I came here because I got your message. I brought you the money you wanted.
Money? What the hell are you talking about? Don't move, I'll shoot you, I mean it!
Drop the gun, Jeffrey. I said drop the gun.
Why? You're gonna shoot me?
Yes.
No, you're not. Don't move, Sheila. Lower the gun. Lower the gun.
It was you. You who got me to come here. What are you going to do, kill me too after you killed him?
Just a minute. Before she answers any questions, I want her to have her rights read to her. But to answer your question, yeah. She set you up for both murders, figuring your last victim here would shoot you before he died. I'm sure Michael Snow will tell you the same thing I told you. Plead guilty, diminished capacity. He's a damn good attorney. Sergeant.
You have the right to remain silent. If you give up this right, anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have the right to speak with an attorney and to have the attorney present during questioning. If you so desire and cannot afford one, an attorney will be